Today we're going to talk about skeletons in the closet of nursing. And the number one that I see from my lens is incivility and bullying in the nursing profession. Big picture statistics. Did you know that the prevalence of incivility and bullying within nursing is that 96% of nurses will experience it or witness it in their first year of practice? Almost 100%. And 46, or approximately half, will experience it personally. Not good statistic, but who's at highest risk? Would you know that it is, if you're a graduate nurse or a student nurse, you will have a target on your back because it's new nurses, those that are new to a specific unit. If you're an ethnic minority or a gender minority, you also have a target of incivility. And the literature says you have a higher likelihood of experiencing, so you must be prepared. But what is incivility? Well, incivility in essence is rude behavior that results in emotional distress that can progress to more intense levels of encounter. For example, have you ever seen this in practice? I need some help. And the other nurse goes and rolls the eyes, eye rolling, incivil behavior, disrespectful and unbecoming of a professional nurse. When you make demeaning or sarcastic remarks, or you exclude or marginalize others because you have the clickiness, or refusing to help as a nurse, those are all uncivil and unprofessional behaviors. But what about bullying? Bullying is similar. But bullying is when there's a pattern. It happens over and over again, usually with the same nurse, that has an intended objective to devalue, diminish, and disrespect you as a nurse and as a person. Well, what does this look like in practice? Well, when you have that persistent, unreasonable criticism. Have you ever had those nurses where you've done 101 things right, but it was the one thing that was incorrect or not addressed that they make the issue of? How about if there's rumors or gossip spreading? Withholding information to set up a nurse to fail miserably. Those are all bullying behaviors, unbecoming of a professional. And when we look at a bully culture on a unit, 3 characteristics that you want to be aware of. Number 1, is there a lack of teamwork? Nobody works together. Everyone has blinders on. Secondly, a lack of collegial respect. And third, a clickiness, old guard versus the new nurses. That's classic of a bully culture, and you don't want to be a part of that. And I've noticed in practice, working in many different units in a hospital, that hospital units or any unit is like a family. Some are very healthy and functional, and some are a complete dysfunctional, toxic mess. And you'll want to stay away from those. So what is one thing you can do? I'm going to teach you a strategy, how you can respectfully and directly address incivility. If it comes your way, any of those behaviors, the eye-rolling, demeaning behavior, there's something you can do. And the literature calls it cognitive rehearsal. Cognitive rehearsal is a fancy word for simply a prepared response. How many of you have experienced that eye roll or critical comments and you didn't say a thing? But yet on your way home, you said, I wish I would have said that. Well, when you have bullies and they do it again, guess what? You'll probably get a second chance to confront that behavior and make a difference. So therefore, what you're doing with cognitive rehearsal is you're sending a message that this is not okay. But your greatest success will when you do it immediately or at the same day it occurs. Don't wait till the next day. It won't happen. Wait till next week. You'll never do it. It needs to be done, though difficult it may be, that same day. And do it in private and learn to be assertive. I know that a lot of nurses who are new are insecure. Be assertive and have a sense of who you are so you can address directly and respectfully address this. So what does this look like? I had a nurse that I was giving report to. And as I was giving report, all she did that entire 15 minutes was cross her arms, look at the floor, and write down nothing. And by her body posture, she was saying, you have nothing to tell me. I'll figure it out when you leave. Just get this over with. And when I left that day for work, I was angry because I knew I had been disrespected by an uncivil encounter. So therefore, what happened? I had that nurse to give report to a couple of months later. And you know what happened when I gave report again? She did the same thing. She folded her arms, looked at the ground, and again communicated, "You have nothing to tell me." Well, instead of just enduring it and just waiting to get it over with, you know what I did this time? I used cognitive rehearsal and I stopped giving report. She looked at me. I looked at her directly in the eyes and I said this: "It appears by the way that you're looking at me, you have something you'd like to say. It's okay to speak directly." And she looked at me and says, "Oh no, we're good." And I said, "Good. Let me finish report." And she sat up in her chair. She didn't write anything down, but I addressed it directly and respectfully. And I left work that day with a smile on my face because I had used cognitive rehearsal as a tool in my tool belt to basically address that uncivil behavior. Now, I've got more information on this important topic in Chapter 4 of my student text, Think Like a Nurse, Practical Preparation for Professional Practice. It's not just enough to know how to think like a nurse and to use content. The real world of nursing also has bullies that you need to know how to address. And my book talks about that, and I have links if you're interested. But in closing, just as you would not go to clinical without the tool of having your stethoscope on your belt, every nurse must be empowered to use the tool of cognitive rehearsal to address incivility once in practice. If you're a nurse educator, you must make it a priority to teach your students this skill and develop this tool so that when they leave your program, they are ready to rumble and to directly and respectfully address this behavior. It will be then and only then that they will be well prepared for a lifetime of service as a professional nurse.